What up, everybody? This is episode 52 of Constant Elevation. My name is Tamal. We got a legendary co-host, Brother Jay X Clan, Black Watch, Flatbush, Brooklyn. We do this build every month. We try to do it every month. We've been pretty successful for the past 4 years going on now, I think so. Something crazy like that. So consistency is key here. We welcome you. We're excited to be here. You doing good today?
I'm good, my lord. Mind you,
Good.
man. Fighting the
Good.
weather. Shit.
Yeah. It's good. It'll break soon. It'll break soon, hopefully. And so yeah, what up, everybody? Thanks for rocking with us. So we got a fun one for y'all. I don't know if it's fun, but it's we like to have some really good discussions, and I think this is gonna be a good one. They're always good. And all just real quick, all past episodes of the constant elevation are on the Carrying the Culture YouTube channel, so you can check them out there. But we wanted to get into gatekeeping tonight, and I brought this up to you, and it's weird. I hear these terms, and I never really didn't think too much about it, and I keep hearing it and hearing it and stuff. So I really wanted to have a discussion on it. And kind of talk about, maybe establish a definition of what it is first, and then we'll get into some things, culture and business and stuff like that. But um, what is your definition, family, of gatekeeping? Like, what does that mean to you when you hear that? I never, just so for the record, I didn't start hearing this term until maybe like 3, 4 years ago, like in regular usage. So what's your term? What's your definition?
I was before we start. It was hilarious to me. If someone called you what did they call you? A gatekeeper with what kind of gatekeeper did they call you?
Yeah. So this is what I want to get into the definition because they called me a gatekeeper in terms of and yeah, and I was like, oh, what's that? Like I looked at it like, to me, gatekeeping is not a wasn't necessary in my brain. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it depends on what the definition is. Like, and so that's why I wanted to get into it, because like, I have a question. We'll skip to it right now. Just like, is saying, me, brother, fam. I'm online and I say my stuff or whatever. I have a position on hip hop culture or whatever. But like, is saying that something that I don't like something, or that something is trash music, is that gatekeeping? I don't.
That's not gatekeeping.
So what is? Yeah, what is it?
In my definition, as far as how I've understood it, is basically being nice, saying it's a term for cock blocking, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Or blocking opportunities and shit. You know what I'm
oh,
saying? And I know it from ancestral sciences and whatnot. I've heard the terminology gatekeepers and whatnot, like guardians, things of that nature. But you know, with industry and everything and the internet, man, people always twist up the terminologies. You know,
real quick though, wasn't isn't it's okay? Just help me out here. I've heard it in the past, but again, I didn't. It was never a negative thing to me. It
right?
was a positive thing, as people sta standing up for standards and values. That's how I've always looked from the past. I mean,
Right.
like you're saying, cockman. I've heard that somebody helped me. Somebody did say the same thing. They were like, "Oh, it means keeping people out of opportunities and shit." Like that's what.
That's what it's come to become now. And it's a heavy thing in the industry because what people think their individual talent is to carry them. Their production houses, that are gatekeeping, the work basically. You know what I'm saying? And this is why you see so many people now in production camps, the cash monies, the this, that, and the other, because, there is work that comes through the production house, and then once that work starts going through that channel, like on a monopoly kind of template, it becomes a gatekeeping thing. It's become something that you can't get access to, if someone can judge if you're worthy or not. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to come from, the brand saying that you're talented or not. But now it's contracts will flow through different channels, and and the artists don't get the opportunity. So there is gatekeeping or cock blocking, as you will. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
The gatekeeper is a nicer term, but it's the same. It's the same kind of situation. And I'm glad you brought that up as a topic, man, because it's basically clogged the pipe. When your A&Rs and your presidents of brands are making beats, how can the producers get on? If they're artists rhyming, singing, and they have the first call on the contract, you may never see the work. You know what I'm saying? This happens in all kinds of levels of industry, bro. But today we're building on the music, and that's a serious issue because cats are thinking that they're not talented enough, that the work is not coming down the pipe. You know what I'm saying? If the executives have become the artists now and become the producers, then how is the work going to trickle down? You know what I'm saying? If you're the president of a brand, bro, you know what I'm saying? And we're sitting in your office trying to get on the contract. You might have got a contract for a TV show or, soundtrack or something. And people come up with their resume. Yo, I want to sign in, brother Tamal, can I do? And you say, well, damn, I got a couple of beats. I got some MCs around my way. Let me just put that on first before I start taking resumes. And people have considered that gatekeeping, because you're blocking the work.
Mm.
You
All
know,
right. So, well, I want to come back to that this because this is where this is the definition that's commonly accepted and commonly understood. I wanted to address some of the stuff you said in your text message when I originally sent this topic to you, and 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 it makes sense in some ways. So, can culture, you said it to me that culture, you can't gatekeep the culture, right? Because, and explain why.
because the culture is not a business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We say hip hop culture because we understand the camaraderie within that. You know what I'm saying? But it's never been something that we can put a foundation on to say this level of artistry is united. You know what I'm saying? Like we are speaking on the conscious label, for instance. That would be a spike of the culture being put out, something that is multi-generational, non-threatening. You know what I'm saying? Something promoting life. You would think of culture promoting life, not promoting death and foolishness. so,
Right.
so there's no record brand that can gatekeep culture.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? They don't have any culture up there. They're doing business.
Right. Right. So yeah,
Period.
yeah. And if you're looking at it from that angle, so and again, the angle I've always used this term whenever I've used it or heard it was always more about of kind of upholding standards or upholding like checking the bullshit, not necessarily checking people who necessarily just anybody, but checking the nonsense at the door. And you know what I mean? Where it was like, nah, like, just saying something or calling out the bullshit. So, like, my question to you, we've talked does every it's not necessarily gatekeeping, but does every culture need critics or culture or excuse me, not culture curators or whatever. Seriously, I'll break it down like this. I've been told by some people, just your peers and stuff, people that respect what I do, they were like, "Yo, we need you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing it the way you're doing it. Just keep doing what you're doing." You know what I'm saying? Somebody's got to speak up about whatever. And I just do what I do. It's not some crusade, but I just speak up. And then I've been told by other people that, you know, I'm just a fucking hater, and then I hate everything. Da 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 da. So like, where's the? I mean, just in terms of the cultural aspect, I'm asking you, what
Well,
do you feel about that? Where's the balance?
your criticism is not based on a cultural thing. It's a decision that you've made to say, well, I don't balance with this kind of frequency.
Right, right, right,
As a consumer, you have the right to say, yo, I like white bread, wheat bread, or not. You know what I'm saying? You decide what you like and what you don't like as far as music is concerned. It has nothing to do with the gatekeeping. Gatekeeping that, you know, I envision when you sent me the situation is where the industry blocks work. You know what I'm saying? You know, you the higher ups, when they pass the work down, they don't trickle. They don't listen to where it goes. They don't look at where the contracts are going. They just say, "Yo, man, I need 20 songs." You know what I'm saying? The A&Rs, the VPs, the so on, who get the contracts and decide what talent is going to be in certain place. You know, they're not on our side. You
Where
know,
did you first start? When did you first start seeing? When did you first start seeing this?
I mean, I've been in the game for over 30 years, man. So, you know, that has been happening from the beginning of time. You know, when you hear sometimes where these, you know, like a R&B production house is coming to a brand, you know, and they're going to start changing things around. And if you don't sing a certain way or rhyme a certain way, or if you don't play well with others, then you can be locked the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it was a good thing at one time because it was a one time that you can black out the whack shit. You know, so then you can just be like, yo, that's not up to standard. But
Right.
but that was penetrated by money offers. So, you know, if I'm whack and I, you know, I put a little shit down and I pay you, then the gate is unlocked. That's what it became. I don't
Right.
write it. I'm witnessing it. So
Right.
game of money now instead of what the A&R listens to versus what he picks is no longer the thing. It's no longer music taste. It's based on, yo, can this artist get us more social acclaim, or are they coming with a check for us to make them more popular? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's no longer based on a talent aspect. So some may see that as, well, damn, that's kind of like gatekeeping. You're not letting in new talent. You're not even opening the door to try to pick from what's happening. You know, so you know it's a whack perspective, man. But it just tells artists, like we've been saying on this podcast for a long period of time, get your paper up, man. You know what I'm saying? Get your paper up and get five other artists that have their paper up, and you ain't got to worry about a cat listening to your demo no more. You know what I'm saying? You can just get that straight yes, walking in the door. You know, that's how distribution is working now. Nobody wants to take a gamble on, you know, if you're dope or not, or do your people really follow you or not. They don't want to go through that. You know, the digital age, you know, they have to get rid of these terminologies, man. It's almost like the devil behind the desk type of thing. You know, there's a devil up there that doesn't want, you know, conscious music or boom bap or whatever Cass was trying to get from the 90s. No, it's just that you got to come with your bread. If you believe that you can maneuver a boom bap label in 2026, put your money up and see if that rocks. But otherwise, you know, how can a person be gatekeeping in a place? You know, I see it two sides. I see it two ways, brother. You know, there's a positive and a negative. You know, it's like, you know, the oversaturation in music, that gatekeeping shit can kind of regulate. You know what I'm saying? It can kind of regulate, you know, who's ready to sacrifice for what they rock. If you really believe, then go up to the label with 40, 50 grand and say, yo, I want to add to the marketing. Instead of telling them what to do, you say, yo, I got 10 on marketing, match me. You know, I got the mastering covered. I have my own lab, so y'all don't have to put out with that. Once y'all put some, you know, money into the advertisement side, or let's co on some merchandise or something. Talk business with a business structure. You know,
That's a crazy way of what you're telling me now. Like just being from older, from way back. My brain is hard. It can't even compute that. Like it's because that's just not how it was like back in the day, right? So you're saying like if you're an artist now, you better come with some bread. But I always tell people, I tell all cats right now, I'm like, look, yo, you know, people say independent artists and stuff. I say all y'all motherfuckers is independent. Like, like with the exception of a select few, like
But
like
it's always been a yes. It's just that cats didn't exercise what I'm talking about. Everybody's trying to be Ed McMahon at the door with the check, like, yo, you've been chosen. Come on and rap. It don't happen like that, dog. It's always been a yes if you got the bread. Look at the cats on top right now. They had bread back then. When cats was talking about, yo, Jay-Z just turned down $1 million deal. So I decided why? Because he got bread. You know what I'm saying? And the industry didn't have to make him however way he made his bread. You know what I'm saying? He stepped when he was ready, and look at the empire that they built. You know what I'm saying? When you come with your own, you like a league ahead of
right,
those who's waiting to be chosen to say, yo, my demo is dope. I'm better than Lil Wayne. I'm better than whatever the fuck. No, but the label don't care about that. If you better than Lil Wayne, then bring 20 million people on your YouTube and come with 100 grand and show up at the brand. And you'll see how the difference in the day is. And you stop saying terms like gatekeeper and shit like that. You won't even have to deal with that. You will be the key at that point. You will be just, they'll hand you the key. Once you put that paper on the table, man, the A&R sits up, go pour you a glass of wine, tells you the best. You know what I'm saying? You start greasing the palm. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens, but this is what they were built to do. You know what I'm saying? When the cats came and had their production house in order, you know what I'm saying? And say, yo, man, we coming with Mariah Carey, Michael Jackson, boom, boom, boom. And all of this shit is set up. You think Michael walking in there by himself, just paying the studio bill or whatever? No, man, that's Quincy. That's his production house, making sure the artist is coming through, his money being spent. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So same thing with today. All the American Idol dance for it and they give you the check. Shit, that day is done. You know what I'm saying? That was made to let people in. You know what I'm saying? To where they're hungry to want to be chosen and picked and all of that kind of shit, man. But the era is dead, man. From analog to digital, bro, something has changed. And to be in denial, with all of the gatekeeping and all of the somebody's holding me down and all that. No, man, it's always a yes if you got bread. It's always a yes, dog. I don't care who you are. Otherwise, you just gotta keep chopping.
in any industry, probably. I mean, I think that goes without saying. I've seen some dumbass lawyers that got into Princeton, Harvard, in some of these schools, master's degrees, because they, I know some really stupid rich people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, man.
so
If you get bored of being broke, man, you can turn it up at any time that you want. But you know what I'm saying? But the same thing with the deals. If you want a deal, you can get a deal anytime you want. Get your bread together.
So you're saying even with like going back, let's go back a few years, 80, late 80s, 90s. You're saying even with the industry being different back then, as far as like people getting signed or A&Rs finding people and stuff like that. You're saying like still if somebody had their own bread, they still were able to navigate differently than let's say somebody discovered off the street.
Yeah, man. When you got your bread, bro, you think about all the little John Wayne rap. Always say the hard, the hard. You know what I'm saying?
You love that shit.
You know what I'm saying? And the Weird Al Yankovic. You ain't never seen Weird Al in no battle on the street or trying to earn it at the club and whatnot. That was a production project. Somebody put that together to put that out there, and it's an automatic yes. And you saying to yourself like, "Yeah, who's this guy? He can rap and got all the following, all the TV, all of that." That's was the early versions of what we're seeing now. You know what I'm saying? People just come out of the blue. You know, what I'm saying? And not that they have, I don't know who's paid dues and who hasn't. I always make this mistake and be like, this person smells manufactured and shit. You know what I'm saying? But there is like you say, that cultural side of the hip hop. There is like a energy that we respect, and there's a legend that we hear of. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear, yo, there's this guy up in the Bronx in KRS. He come and his voice is like this. You hear that. We didn't get to hear about a lot of these people that are winning trophies now. I don't care what region you live in. We should hear something. A nigga in Cali knows what a KRS is.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Or artists of that caliber, the Cool Mo D's and the LLs and the NWAs. We know so much about the West Coast music on this side because the legend was big before these cats was playing. NWA was like a pirate radio group, dog.
Right.
So your legend kind of goes out there, and when you have money attached to it, you just slide through, bro. It's different. You get a different pass. There's levels to the shit. You know what I'm saying? There's levels to the shit. And when you pay for your VIP pass, you get a different treatment. You know, guaranteed. If you go to a label with 50 to 100 grand and you have your marketing plan and all your shit in order, dog, you're gonna get more rotation than the freebie deal or the little YouTube sensation or whatever the hell cats are doing, and in sake of not being signed. You know what I'm saying? You know, say, hey, I could just do it myself and I'll just get a lot of people to like me. All you're doing is teaching the biter. You know what I'm saying? You're getting worse deal than a single deal when you go on that YouTube like that. So you have to decide, do I want to be popular or do I want to be paid? If you want to be paid, it takes money to get involved. That's just how it is, man. You know?
Okay, so here's an excellent question. I mean, I wanted to share with you. Hold on. So because as you're sharing that, I was thinking like, thank God I'm not trying to be a rapper. And don't want to be a musician. Or like this sucks. Like my man asked, like, at this point in your career, what's the mission now? Like, how do you? So you seeing the whole landscape, you seeing how things have changed in 30 years. You knowing the ins and outs of all this stuff, and just seeing the game. And you talked even in the text about it's about who you know versus how talented you are. For you as an artist, as a conscious artist, brother Jay, like where how do you make like what do you do every day to just keep it going? Like, what's the mission now for you, man? I mean, for
Well,
real.
well, the mission versus every day is two different worlds. You know, the mission right now would be to establish a genre, bro. You know what I'm saying? Putting out records is like, child's play. That's easy. You can really just load your shit up on the stream. It should be something impactful now. I've been stressing this for a very long time, bro. You know what I'm saying? And look how many subgenres have built: drill, trap, so on. There's money behind that. Okay, there's no money behind speaking science or peaceful situations. You know what I'm saying? It's about drama and gossip and foolishness now. So it's a risky market, but there are people who gravitate toward that. And if you don't have something structured, even they are not rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? Marketing is a problem. You have to have some kind of partner if you're talking about addressing the world. You know what I'm saying? You can put something out to the world, but the world doesn't have to hear it when you have the right marketing behind you. And that's another wheel that we have to control or invest in as well. If you're asking about the mission, so you're controlling media, your marketing, your merch, you're controlling your music, your production, having a production house. You got to keep your producers fed and greased. You know what I'm saying? Because that's your signature. Developing your signature sound. When you hear Dr. Dre, you know it's Dr. Dre. When you hear Wu Tang, you know it's Wu Tang. What's your signature in 2026? You know what I'm saying? So, in this day and stage, I work with artist development. You know what I'm saying? Rarely, because everybody ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're asking me, what I do with mine, my thing is like, regardless if the game is open or not, you got to pass the baton some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And we've talked about that on this show before, where cats are just mad and they stand there and block the way. Step out of the way and give the next man a tip to say, yo, man, maneuver like this, maneuver like that. Things like we talking about. Get your marketing together, get your team together, get your management together. Stop trying to. I got 100% of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Cass is like, yo, I own everything, or I own all my masters. You ain't made a deal with nobody. You know what I'm saying? To push your material in a place where you don't have any power. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody in Japan touch your little like or whatever situation doesn't mean that they're a buying customer. You know what I'm saying? You got 50,000 people in your shit. How many people would purchase something from you? Do you have that kind of magnetism? You know, those kind of things. You know, I focus on when developing an artist. So when you go through those kind of breakdowns, I would dare you to write something whack or just egotistical, like I'm just twisting words around in a funny style and, you know, this is my rap. No, dog, you gotta make theme music. You gotta make anthems. You know what I'm saying? Look, we spoke about DMX on here. Look at all the anthems.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
When you said he was in Detroit, and you know, and I think somewhere he was talking. Yeah, he was talking about something. DMX came on somewhere,
yes.
and it was like,
You
yeah,
know, it was a live show. Roxanne Shante was hosting the shit. She did a very good job. I'm very impressed with how she evolved herself with the radio and still being a host who got it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not always about rhyming with her. You know what I'm saying? Because she ain't had joints and anthems like that, but she had reinvented herself, you know, educated herself. You know what I'm saying? And now she can do it with pleasure. How
Right.
many cats who never came out, you know, for real and made an impact, how many of them can do that? Yo, dog, you didn't make it as an MC. Maybe you'd be a good radio dude. Maybe
Right.
you'd be a good A&R.
Right.
Maybe you'd be a good president of a brand. Why don't you gather some folks with some bread if you feel you are dope like that? If you dope, you can put dope in any category and still be that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a
I'm
lot of areas to move in this shit. It's not all about the performing. Um, so so when you back to the mission, like so you're saying the mission is to you said to establish a genre. So like to really
trying to establish your own lane. You know what I'm saying? Stop waiting to walk on their golden road or whatever. There's price to pay with popular music, dog. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm saying the conscious cats, like several genres have walked past us and we never got honored. They're not going to give it to us. Nobody wants to bottle intelligence and offer it. Having you dumbed out or drugged out is the easiest way to manipulate you to get your bread. Okay? Period. That's just how people are programmed nowadays. You
right.
know what I'm saying? And it's proven because if you look at the top 10, top 5 artists right now, listen to the lyrics. There's
Oh,
nothing offering you anything on a level.
no level, like nothing, not even nothing, nothing, bro. Like nothing. You, I
We,
mean, the sexy red chick. I don't know if it happened or not, but she was trying to remake a Michael Jackson track. Somebody could tell me what it is. And she changed the lyrics to like "Eat My Shit" or whatever. You know, and so I think the state or whatever. I don't know all the details, but is trying to hopefully push back on that. She's trying to get that sample cleared. A sample cleared one of his famous tracks. And yeah,
money will turn the key to
right.
the truth.
So yeah. So we should not be surprised if in 6 months we hear that track out.
Correct. And
Right?
even if she has to give it away for free, dog, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's
Eat it. It's called.
just played.
Yo, instead of beat it, it's called eat it.
And she could say, just let me do the parody, take 100%, and she can go make her money through shows, dog.
Right, because that'll yeah, it's an investment for her to do
Correct.
that and let it fly.
Correct. The fact
This
that she
sucks.
got away with it will
I hate this conversation right now.
but it
I mean,
proves our point.
huh?
Money, it proves our point. The
Yeah.
money is what opens the door. There's really nobody standing there. People are scared of a statue that's not even moving. There's some kind of gatekeeper at the gate. He's not moving and shit. Put some money in the mouth or the hand of the statue and watch the gate start opening and shit. Niggas start moving and unlocking shit. Put some
Right.
money in his hand. And
Right.
you ain't got to live that illusion no more. Niggas turn the corner like, oh shit, there's somebody standing there. Get back.
Nah, I mean, it happens in third world countries all the time. How you get shit done? I mean, like you
Awesome.
know, like I was in India and like I learned quickly that like if I had some bread on me, I'm moving through lines. I'm moving through. I'm getting better cars with AC. Everything,
Everything. You get
everything.
a
I'm
guide.
speaking everybody, son.
You get a guide and everything,
Right,
dog.
right. The one that speaks English, a little more bread. Word, we good money.
Why
So
is it different in music? You feel what I'm saying? It's the same science, dog. It happens every day
yeah,
from the beginning of time. All them artists, like you say, damn, how did you slip through the cracks? Somebody wanted to experiment and was willing to put the paper up to experiment.
right,
You
right,
know, you're rhyming a little bit offbeat, but let's try it. Let's put it out there. Because the producer may be amped, like, yo, I like the way he's wilding out on my track. So the producer will go ahead and pay the money, pay for the radio, pay for the marketing, pay for the artist to look good, do a little video. Look at all the expenses we talking about. Versus somebody going in the lab, rhyming, could be dope as hell, don't do no video, don't have no marketing. Your shit is just in the cloud of who you know. And then whoever shares whatever, and whatever the algorithm has shared to you. But when you put that money up, the algorithm go like this. And then
that's true.
everybody sits up like this, like, oh shit, you got 100,000, 200,000 shit. Not that you're dope, but for the fact that your shit is climbing in that way, and they try to say, I wonder what his recipe is. Let me follow him.
Right,
How that goes versus how we would, yo, man, LL got a new record out, man. I got to get to the record shop, man, get that wax.
right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? So I could be ready. Man, everybody come around the way, we doing a barbecue, whatever. I got that hot wax. It was like a credit for you to have what was hip.
Right.
You feel me? Now we oversaturated. Million songs come across your feed every day. You got to the point where it's like, oh man, I'm cool today. I don't even want to be involved. You got to
This,
find a way to get above that boredom. The only way you get above that boredom is if you pay for a slot where people can see you on a higher plateau. Once they see you there, it's like wearing brand name clothes. It's like, oh, he got some bread. I wonder what the recipe is. You
right.
know what I'm saying? Most of this hip hop thing is based on nosiness, dog. When people get to that level, it's like, oh man, what's your life like? Let me in. Let me in. Walk your dog. Kiss your girl. It's become that instead of just enjoying the creativity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the gatekeeper thing is a negative and a positive, dog, because it kind of filters out like it's not for everybody.
Right.
All right. But then there are people that misuse it and be like, I'm not sharing this work. I
Right. Right. Right.
have the AI here, make me a beat. I make a phone call to an artist, have the album done today instead of somebody go give me a month. AI spits out 10 beats. You call 10 artists on the thing, get some features, pay them some whatever, and now the A&R is all of a sudden Dr. Dre. And a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Is he a gatekeeper? Is he an opportunist? You know what I'm saying? Or is he squeezing the rag for his journey of being an A&R, being selected to be in the spot? You asked him to find the best situation. He went and did that. He doesn't have to go and open his doors and say, well, who's fresh? Who's dope? You don't have to. When he gets handed the task, find me something that meets the standard. If Freddy Krueger's doing a movie, I need I need horror rap. I need people cutting it up. I need a strip club scene. I need whatever it is. It's his job to bring that back. He ain't got no time to be sitting in your lab listening to 10 songs and watching you break dance or whatever the hell it is, nigga. Yo, he ain't got no time for that shit. He got to come back with 10 songs done that will bring popularity to the film. This is to bring people in like, yo, what's that from? Yo, the Freddy Krueger shit is out, man. That shit is dope, man. You know, Most Def and such did the cut and shit, and Homeboy is the producer. Some A&Rs wait for that, dog. You
Right.
imagine an A&R never got his point, like never got his chance, and you finally just been sitting behind the desk so long, and the nigga say, yo, I'm giving you 2 contracts, new sitcoms coming and a new such and such. You think the first thing he gonna do is start going through the headache of American Idol, let me hear this. He gonna say, man, let me dig in my Rolodex. Let me call a couple of my beat buddies. Let me call little MCs that never got on and shit, and give them a little coaching and shit. That work is gone, dog. You think you sitting in that office waiting for that work? That work is gone.
Right. He done took it already. I want to go back to something real quick as far as the conscious stuff goes, because we've talked numerous times about like in this particular time, the conscious artist is down here, and was there ever any real bread in making conscious music, like, or has it always been? I mean, because here's the thing: seeing y'all on now as I've gotten older and we've built and I've met a lot of artists and stuff and understanding that a lot of this shit is all fluff. Basically seeing somebody on Rap City doesn't mean they're rich. You know what I mean? So or whatever. Like so, seeing y'all and seeing artists and stuff like that, video out or whatever, but knowing that the deals were all shit a lot of times, it's different knowing the background. So was there ever any real bread, and will there ever be any real bread for this, or is it just because of the lane is just so different? It's
Well,
not
I
there.
mean, it's never been a genre, so we'll never, know on that account. But there are conscious artists that have been successful. Think about Mos Def, on TV since he was a youth. Look at
Right.
Latifah, how she evolved, and now millions. She started as a positive artist.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
where we say positive. I don't want to judge like people who just write the dirty script that they're not conscious internally. I don't want to ever disrespect anybody.
Right.
But
Right. We talked about that.
you would think that if you are a conscious person, then you would, output that as well. Some people don't feel that it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? And I can understand that. I'm not here to tell you that you're conscious or not or whatever, but your music is not.
Right. Right.
So I always comment on the music. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then if you're gonna follow suit on what the music is, like you're talking about how the sexy red, and you can't even take a classic and get off the bullshit for 5 minutes. You got access to Michael Jackson catalog, and all you can do is a parody, a nasty parody and shit. Wow, that's crazy to
Right. I'm
me.
gonna find, I'm gonna
In
find the post
the
and send
world,
it.
dog, you can do anything in the world. But you would just rather just go, yo, but fuck it, eat it. I just want to be the comedian bitch of the moment and shit, man. That's just crazy to me, dog. And
Yeah.
and I'm not the judge of the world. It's their opportunity, but I'm just giving you an example. Like,
Right.
if you conscious for real inside your shit, like you really love music and you have connected like that, offer the people something that's like enlightening. You got the classic of somebody that we miss terribly, and you're gonna turn his shit because you could never not hear that now. Once that comes out, you could never hear "Beat It" again the same fucking way. You ruined it for everybody. So,
Yeah.
so shame on the A&R, shame on the A&R, shame on the producer, shame on the label that puts that bullshit out to kill his legacy. We'll do that shit with Johnny Cash or some shit. Nigga. Don't do that shit with Mike. It's already bad enough that Jacko and all that other bullshit that he went out on.
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? No matter what he did, he was always wrong. And then now you're gonna take his catalog. We'll do that shit with the Beatles or some shit. Nigga, don't do that shit with Mike. That's how I
Right.
feel about it.
Right. 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 But yeah, I mean, and that comes back to like just people's intentions and people who don't care. I mean, in the end, right? Like because that's like you and I can't even comprehend doing those shit like that. But like for her, that was just like automatic. Like, damn. I mean, she's probably just dollar signs in her eye. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
it's
but again, it's not her by herself.
right.
You got to blame that whole production house. Everybody that puts clothes on you, put makeup on you, puts the music on you, does all your management, everything, dog. Why is it so desperate to take a classic like that and just dog it out? We can never unhear that, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
never unhear that, dog. That shit is so fucking whack,
Yeah, it's wild, bro.
man.
Um, so I want to give me some more examples of gatekeeping in the industry. We've talked about like kind of the A&Rs and execs kind of holding work and not letting that pass through. Like, what are some other, in your eyes, some examples in like modern times of like just unethical gatekeeping in the industry.
The AI is a gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? It's shutting down a major lane where producers were already not getting paid.
Right.
think,
Already.
think about it. The AI is a gatekeeper.
Right, right.
That's why it's like it's a love hate with that because it helps the producer find the missing enzyme in his shit. Why am I not like Dr. Dre? And the computer could say, "Give me your beat and let me show you," and in a heartbeat. All right, and then at the same time, the A&R can own the same device and never knock on your door for a beat ever because him and the computer is one. So any contract that come down, you can say, "Oh, you want scary? I want scary music with violins and such and such." And the computer says, "Here's 4 options." Instead of calling a nigga, "Yo, man, yo, can we get that check moving? I got rent due tomorrow." Da, 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 da. You got to go through no human shit with no person. So the AI is a gatekeeper as well.
All right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's definitely true. Give me another one. What else?
Uh, Radio, uh, popular radio, not internet driven. A lot
Right.
of gatekeeping and a lot of what they call the payola.
Yeah.
The payola is different now. It comes in big chunks. It comes with the Range Rover in front of the house and the salary for the year, dog. It's different. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, "Yo, play my song and here's a couple hundred." It ain't that. You know what I'm saying? That's gatekeeping. There's only 24 hours in a day. If you don't have at least 2 hours to offer to new music, dog, it's what are we talking about?
Right.
Okay, if 4 or 5 production houses, you know, Cash Money, Bad Boy, G Unit, if they all buy a chunk, give me 3 hours, however way you want to slice it. So play me in Funk Show, Funk Master, play me in Sway, play me in this. You got all your placements for what you do. If 10 motherfucking production houses do that, dog, where's the time to say new music is being played?
Yeah, new authentic. I mean, or just original, with no ties, no strings attached
Correct.
to it. Right.
Correct. And
Right.
it's shameful that the people have not even asked for that. Like, "Yo, dog, I rock with y'all every morning. I get up and go to work. Can y'all have like 2 hours in the day where I'm not hearing the same song over and over? I want to hear some new talent." And the popular station is supposed to give you some leeway. Even if the people had to put a petition and say, "We all got $1 a piece. We want to buy 2 hours of airtime," because that's what they do. You buy airtime with power stations.
Right.
We want to buy 2 hours of airtime where we can get our new music. And this guy, one of our favorite DJs, say Red Alert, we're going to send him the songs that we like and he's going to play 2 hours. So you can assign your DJ at that point and guarantee that at least 100,000 people are following this dude every time he turns on the air. All right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now you override the gatekeeper that's saying, "Yo, Master P paid me. Gotta rotate. Yo, 50 paid me.
Right.
Gotta rotate. Sorry, y'all new people. You gotta get down with something that got some bread. Because that's what they're gonna say to you. If I'm gonna put you in front of millions of people with our powerful antenna that touches the world, you gotta put some money, buy some airtime, dog.
Yeah.
Pay for airtime with your phone, you gotta pay for airtime with the radio. That's an expense that the independents think they can skip over because you got access to a thin ass algorithm. It's not the same as that popular algorithm. You imagine Hot 97's algorithm on top of having a power antenna.
Right. Right.
You ain't on that level. So you gotta pay for it. You want to go to the dance, dog? You can't go in the Timbs and the jeans. You gotta buy you a penguin suit. You gotta You got to play the role. Am I wrong?
No, I mean that's it's a painful truth, and as you were sharing, I was just thinking about like the artists, that it's the artists who are talented who aren't playing the game, and then wondering why their shit ain't popping off, and you
Because
know
they're not down with anything.
what's that?
Because they're not down with anything.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? You got to be down with something. Just being around the way ain't gonna do it.
Yeah,
But when you say, "Yo, man, I'm in Jermaine Dupri's production camp. I'm in G Unit. I'm in." Look at Mobb Deep's um, rise when they joined G Unit. Look at the difference. Look at the difference of the sound. Look at the difference in the bread. Okay, because we know them to have their own situation. But when you sign to G Unit, it's different.
right,
When
right.
you sign to Cash Money, I'm sure Nicki Minaj was probably a mixtape. You know what I'm saying? She probably was a Cardi B or something. Strip a little bit, rhyme a little bit, do whatever. I don't know her story, whatever. But when you join that Cash Money as a writer, look what happened.
Right.
Talking about $70 million plus woman right now. Crazy off rap, dog. But affiliating yourself with the frequency that matches your creativity. If it's conscious, gangster, whatever it is, the frequency has to match. Okay, we don't have conscious production houses that wear it on their sleeve.
Yeah,
Like there's only Chuck D's and Brother J's and Commons and Laurens and Lights and all kind of shit here that just get off the lyrical side. We shouldn't have to wear it on our sleeve. All right, we shouldn't have to. We should just be able to be dope.
yeah.
So like you asked me, like, yo, is there anybody from whatever? We didn't have to wear it on our sleeve back then, bro. It was just like, yo, X Clan is dope, period. I rock with them, conscious or not. Cats weren't really even seeing us because it wasn't a visual age like that.
True, true. And cats were. I mean, there's cats that everybody was rocking with X Clan and Public Enemy back in the day, and that they weren't necessarily into conscious music. It was because it was good music. In addition to the message, the music was good. Like
Correct.
you can have. I mean, we talked about this before. You better like you can be conscious, but your
Yeah.
music better be fucking good. Like don't like if
And
you're just
that's what
saying
they forgot. That's
what's
what
that?
they forgot. That's what the
Yeah.
conscious artists forgot. They think that they say something that's against the grain and you're instantly supposed to clap. Okay?
Mm.
Yeah, stand for the people. Free Iran. Whatever it is, I'm gonna buy everything you got. No, man. You gotta be dope, dog. You gotta be dope, dog. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What is hip hop if it's not being dope? It's not being hip, man. What are we talking about?
I
They
and I go ahead.
they forgot that.
Yeah, they forgot. And I feel like too, even I feel like the conscious artist almost has to be a little more dope than because also sometimes people don't want to be like feel like they're being preached to or anything like that or whatever. So I feel like sometimes the conscious artist has to be super nice because all the conscious artists I really fuck with are nice MCs. And the ones that I've heard conscious music before, and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of great message, but get somebody else to deliver that shit. Like so,
Bro. It shouldn't have to be a thought. We shouldn't have to come in here and say, yo, I'm a conscious artist, I'm getting ready to rhyme. I ain't never had to do that. You know what I'm saying? My movement was a black nationalist honor guard, dog. I didn't have to explain where I was from. When the mic cut on and the beat come on, both of them better be dope. And that was the end of the conversation.
right,
Period. And that's how these artists should roll. Like, yo, man, no matter what you put on in front of me, I'm gonna slay it and I'm gonna have the crowd rock. And that should be their only aim. What comes out of your mouth should just stay positive, period. That should be a normalized thing. The
right,
first thing out your mouth should not be bang boom, kill him, suck it, eat it, whatever the hell they talking about, bro.
right.
Come on.
Right.
Come on.
Yo, we talked earlier, we briefly touched on this, but I want you to go into a little bit more. Like, it definitely seems it's about a who you know versus how talented you are type of thing, though, right? Because you said certain people didn't get with the right camps. You know what I mean? Like that seems like a, a gatekeeping thing as well. Like just in terms of just knowing the right.
I don't think so. I mean, look, if you've been in this game for 20 years and you can't pick up the horn to hook yourself up, you might have been in the wrong genre. Come on, bro, brother. You've been in this game, going to all the parties, talking about you networking and all this other bullshit, and you ain't even got a number that you could call and say, "Yo, I got something hot."
Yeah. Right.
You feel me?
Yeah. That makes sense. But it is still though, as far as I mean, that's still that's an important thing in this business though. I mean, right? Because I mean, even from my angle as a show dude or whatever I do, like I have some connections. Oh, you know, I put some people on and help people get some things. So it's like I would imagine as an artist, you definitely need to. You can't do this by yourself. I guess that's the bottom line.
Yeah. So you get into the nitty of that independent shit. It doesn't work,
You
bro.
can't do it by yourself.
You can't do it by yourself, bro. You need affiliation, and because music business is not being taught, along with the artist development, cats are just like, yo, somebody's gonna get me one day. Somebody's gonna pick my song. Come on, man. You sound like a little kid. You know what I'm saying? You've been in this game this long, you know, going to all the hip hop shows and everything, and you only got a booty call that you can holler at, dog. You ain't got no executive. Cats are walking past you becoming A&Rs that said, I don't want to rap. I want to do business.
Right, right.
And becoming A&Rs and becoming VPs and becoming presidents of labels and shit. And niggas still sitting there talking about, yo, somebody's going to hear my demo. You got the nerve to not even update it. You still with the same beat, same tempo that was popular 4 years ago. You don't even update your music. You feel like the devil didn't let them pick my music and shit, and that's why I'm still here. I'm gonna get my time. You start making all these fables and shit up, man. Even the gatekeeper, like I'm saying, the gatekeeper is like an illusion, dog. It's an illusion. You know what I'm saying? On some behalfs, you know, because there are fucked up people behind the brick and mortar that are misusing it. But most times, cats are not even on a level to see what a real gatekeeper is, dog. They're not even on a level. Why would they even want to worry about? I'm just being 100. You're not on a level that somebody will want to gatekeep your shit, dog. You know what I'm saying? Go and do something that stays on the chart for like 20, 30 weeks and shit. You know what I'm saying? As an independent and see what happens. It's the equivalent of having that bread. When you got that social popularity, they've given you a new form of currency now. Okay? You need more people. So if you show up with them people, they're gonna give it to you like you had $100,000 in the bag, dog. Straight up and down. So if what you're saying is true as an artist, it's a clear lane right now. You could go on YouTube tomorrow and say, yo, I'm the dopest nigga. Everybody who agree, hit the thumb. You can take all that data to the label with a couple of dollars and say, yo, man, I want to do something. And if I'm lying, then what is iSpeed and the Kanai, the Sonat, and all of that shit? Come on, these niggas was probably playing video games and bullshitting like black jackass online. And motherfuckers say, yo, I like these guys. And then click, 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 click. And now what? Niggas playing in all-star games.
It's wild.
Around the fucking world, dog. Come on, man. What are we talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They've given you a new form of currency. They're not waiting for you to bring the bread no more. They say, okay, look, man, we're gonna waive that because all of you niggas ain't got money. If you bring me 500,000 people who fuck with you all the time, you say, yo, man, buy my shit, and 150,000 of them instantly buy that shit, then you can have a deal tomorrow, dog. Straight up and down. Otherwise, what are they doing on these platforms and shit? What are you doing? You just want to be seen? We here giving knowledge.
Right.
We got a foundation. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't handing us the check. Out of the strength of our heart, and this is where that culture shit is that you spoke of earlier. Who could bottle that? Okay? When you say, yo, the culture can be blocked. Who can block us from expressing how we feel about the game, family?
Right.
Okay? So now when cats look at culture, versus industry, you got to decide if you're doing the 60-40, 70-30. It's a mix. It's
Yeah.
not one or the other. That's the problem.
Mm.
Making it one or the other. Do I want to be a little 70-30? You know, like a Common? While I'm going to do the movies, I could be the evil villain. I could do whatever and then come back to my hip hop and I'm pure and I'm doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just in and out. Do you want to do it like that?
Right, right.
You feel me?
Yeah, it's definitely seems like it's got to be a it's a definitely a tightrope juggling act, balancing act, whatever cliche you want to use, man. I mean, it's not a clear cut thing. But one thing is clear cut though is that you know, like you've been saying, is that you better have some money in this thing.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, even in shopping, look, there's a lot of producers. I was insulted that I was, shopping my concept so long. My film was not done. But when I talk to other producers who have done it for like 15 years, 20 years in film, and they can't even get that call back, because you know how I said, like, you got to have somebody in your Rolodex after going to network parties and all the shit you done put out, series and films. You should be the first motherfucker, to get a check from somebody to say, yo, take that idea and develop that.
Right, right, right.
I did. I took that shit personally, but when I saw other producers and I sat down in the circles, because I learned from them,
Mm-hmm.
I saw them having a good time. I said, "Yo, man, there's a definite problem." You know what I'm saying? That there was a gap to where there was a time where people will take your undeveloped concept if it was dope. Like if you were the first nigga to come up with "The Price is Right," and the idea sounded good, it was catchy. You have a game show and it's like, yo, I like that concept. Go make me two episodes of that and bring it back and let me see what I fuck with. That's the gamble right there. You feel me? There's not enough of those people anymore. And there was a division in labels that used to be like that,
Right,
where they
right.
could come and agree and say, yo, man, there's this new thing that people is doing. The Price is Right, man. They holding it in basements all over Brooklyn and shit. I think we should put it on TV. Check it out. Here's an example. I taped something.
Right,
It
right, right.
needs to be more of that. It needs to be more of that. And then when you get the concept, then the team to develop the concept has to be there. Because the person that creates does not know. All they know is the light bulb went off, but they don't know where it'll fit. This nigga will say, yo, this light bulb needs to be in Times Square. This nigga needs to be on the top of the Empire State Building. The professionals will know.
Right.
So where
Right.
you don't trust the professional, like, yo, don't take my shit. I'm not a sellout. I want to control everything 100%. No. Nobody want to negotiate with you if you want to own anything. How does anybody else get paid if you own 100% of every fucking thing, bro?
Right, right,
You got to give a
right.
piece. You want to be seen in Russia like you seen in U.S. That's not by emailing a person in Russia like, yo, play my music at your next party. When the label calls, TV shows is playing your shit. All the DJs in the area is playing this shit. Why? Because they have relationships with every motherfucker in that goddamn country where you do not. So you
So
gotta know where you're marketing, what you want to pay for. You want to pay for a nationwide marketing shit where people in the South are not feeling your East Coast Wu-Tangish style. You gotta learn how to pick your regions. Like play me in New York, play me in West Coast because the underground is strong there. I'm not ready for the South because I don't have enough bass. I don't have enough ass on my track. You gotta be honest with your.
it always comes back to that, man. Being honest, and we say it all the time. What's the phrase? Star in your own head, right? And so I'm gonna summarize here, right? So it sounds like so we really can't. It's not really you really can't gatekeep culturally, but it sounds like from a business perspective, that's been going on for a long time. And but we said, just correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to make sure I got the points here. And but we said that it's not necessarily as prevalent as people like it make it seem as far as like this overwhelming thing because I get it, yo. XYZ underground MC. has been out for 25 years and put a lot of underground shit out, and thinks because they haven't gotten their big break yet, there's somebody at a label stopping them.
Correct.
But that's not necessarily, we're saying that that's not necessarily the case.
Not necessarily the case. Have you ever put up money to reinvest in yourself? How many
What do
times I be telling you, yo, I'm doing my own event. I'm doing my such and such and such.
Right,
Come on, bro.
right,
You get tired of waiting. It's like, yo, I gotta try it. I gotta experiment. If I win or bust, I will still get up and continue to do what I gotta do. If it becomes to a point where it starts to maim you, dog, to where you start losing touch with reality, you gotta stop, man. You know what I'm saying? But if you winning and people are saying, yo, man, I love this effort. I want to see more. As long as your crowd is with you, dog, and you always got a way to resurrect and people that support you, you can't do it by yourself, like you said. So as long as your audience still rock with you, dog, you're doing something right, man. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're getting some residuals from that, as long as you can still go out and do a couple shows, man, and say, yo, man, I can still keep my shit afloat. But if you sitting there beating a dead horse, man, talking about high hole ranger and shit, nigga, you fooling yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? You could have took, cats. I know cats with 200 songs, dog, and still waiting to come out. When you gonna start writing that shit, yo, Chris Brown? I would love to see this on you. Check out this situation. My shit is registered. It's ready to go. See if you like this song. See if you want it on your album. I make beats as well.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Go another avenue.
Right.
If you weren't going to be the one to sing it, start shopping to other artists. Artists love when the song is already done, though. Trust me on that. I ain't got to walk the floor and think of a hook, and I just got to put my personality on it and fill in the bars. Hell yeah, dog.
Easy bread right there.
Easy bread, dog. I'll pay you. Here you go. Let's rock.
You ain't got to think nothing. I mean, like, yeah. So it's there, but it's not as prevalent as people like it to seem, because that's almost like a built-in excuse, to be honest with you. I mean,
there you go.
I mean,
it's an excuse. Stop playing. What's the truth? If you asking somebody to spend on you and you not spending on yourself, who is the problem? Okay? The gatekeeper? Come on, dog. Who is the problem? You wouldn't go and say, yo, I'm going to pay for studio time for the whole album. That's about 5 racks. I got that. Okay? Why you think so many drug dealers in rap, dog? Starting to make sense. Yo, dog, I'm not going to eat for the next couple of weeks. My whole flip is going towards studio time or MP or whatever case.
Right.
You think so many drug dealers in hip hop, dog? And is that the A&R's fault or the label's fault? No, that's who's stepping to the door saying, yo, I don't want no money from you. I just want to be popular, dog. Okay? Because I see what it is when the people love you and shit. Just play my shit and I'll make sense of it. And they go get all that money back through shows, dog. Because when you make that hit, that first couple of weeks is very lucrative, dog. Okay? They'll pay you $5,000 to sit at the bar. Okay? Because you bring in more people. Yo, such and such is at the bar. You better get down here, girl. Put your eyelashes on and shit. Come on down. Some of the players in town, you're going to get that first couple of weeks, dog. You can make all that money back if you roll your dice on yourself.
Right.
But if you don't believe, how the consumer supposed to believe and how the investor supposed to believe, dog. That makes absolutely no sense to me.
Zero. This was a great build, man. I gotta get ready to run. We got another show at 9:30, but this was fun. I mean, I'm glad we got to get into this, and I mean, think this. I mean, going in front. This was a Chat GPT topic. I mean, I asked for it, so I'm trying to use it for the right things. But
I enjoy topics, man. I just felt the gatekeeper was prime conversation, though. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a buzzword that's been going on. People, once a word or a phrase becomes trendy, like initially it has some substance to it, that term, right? And then like a lot of terms have substances when they first start out, and then then it become more loose. Like it's like calling somebody a legend. Everything's fired. Like all of a sudden, everybody gatekeeping. Everybody, So
It's all definition. Woke, OG, all that shit has become something else now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know, I don't get with their definition.
yeah.
You know,
The original, the stuff.
the gatekeeper is an illusion in most perspectives, but a true cock blocker, there are cock blockers at these fucking labels, bro. There's no question. From the beginning of time, it's not new.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of pettiness in hip hop too. So even if it's not at the label, I mean, if somebody's got access to like a producer or to somebody or whatever, or to some something, like there's so much pettiness that goes on. It's like fuck this or
That's
so
human beings.
yeah,
Period, family. That's a human factor.
yeah,
This business could be straight up and down. The contracts could be better, everything. These are human decisions. Greed, foolishness, all of these things come into play. It's complex.
yeah,
So my complex is get your bread up, go down, make a negotiation. If you're walking with bread, you're not going to hear a no, bro. I guarantee you. Unless you just totally whack as fuck.
Even then, if you got enough, they'll find a way to package you or something, or like I mean, so
Yeah.
damn,
Yeah.
I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad I'm not a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, real shit. And that's why my kids don't rap. I didn't teach them none of this. I said if you do it for your personal, but I wouldn't put you on the market.
I'm not trying to. Yeah, you didn't push on. That was good. Though. Very intelligent. You know what I'm saying? If they want to do it, it's because they want to, and let them figure it out, but not because you do this because. Yeah, I wouldn't put this on anybody. That's why I say, like, for all my friends and people that MC and rap and something, like, yo, y'all better love this shit, man. Because
let's start writing songs. Write songs for artists. Do like Faith Evans. Come in, write songs for artists, and then make people beg for your shit.
Get them jingles in the commercials, man. Get that TV movie shit. You know what I'm saying? Get that shit where you 20 years from now they playing your shit in like a pharmaceutical background music or whatever. Yo, I'll be hearing Annie Up on the wildest shit. Like,
yeah, bro. It's that era now. They want retro music to change up. Right. You talk to the AI, remix Annie Up, and just pay them for the interpolation of their song, and go ahead and get the commercial.
Yeah.
Because that sound is outdated now. You can't put the regular Annie Up on the commercial and shit. That's too harsh. That's too threatening.
Right.
So they lighten it up and jingle it out. No different than Sexy Red with Eat It.
Stop.
You go directly to the porn audience. They don't want to hear Beat It. They want to hear Eat It from me. And I'll get you 2 million people that love jerking off to me and my little skimpy ass shit while I sing my songs. And she's 100% in her lane.
Yeah.
That's what she's been from day one. So if you can promise them the porn crowd, like I said, the petition with people, her petition is her followers.
On that depressing note, thanks for bringing it down for me. But you're right, though. No, it's facts.
My lights on, man. I'm just holding the lamp.
No, of course, it's all facts, bro. And I appreciate the build. This has been a good one as always. Hour went by fast. Everybody, this has been episode 52 of Constant Elevation. All prior episodes are on the Carrying the Culture YouTube channel. We do this once a month, usually the first Wednesday of every month. So we'll be back in April. And we got a show in a little bit. What do people say to hip hop culture at 9:30? So rock with us in. But thanks, family. This was a good one as always. And we'll get the clip up. We'll tag you and everything. Hope all is well. Yeah. And I'm gonna be out, and I'll hit you offline. But I'm gonna be out in Brooklyn in June. So I'm gonna try to if I am, I'm gonna try to link up. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know AC program director?
What's that?
AC, the program director. You know him?
Mm-mm.
He's on the pages and shit. When you advertise to Carrying the Culture, I see him in the mix. AC, the program director out of the way.
No.
Yeah, he shares the stuff, and so I thought you might have known him.
Okay, now I'm definitely since you brought him up, I'll look at him.
Yeah, no doubt. He's cool. He's a cool promoter and lover of hip hop. So he feels about hip hop like you do.
Oh, word! I have to check him out. I mean, I always need somebody in the trenches with me. I have to be feeling alone sometimes. So, word.
Yeah,
Word, family. This has been a good one. I appreciate you. Salute to everybody joining the chat. The stalwarts always with us, and we'll get this up on the YouTube, get this in the podcast, all that stuff, streaming and everything, and we keep doing what we do, man. Until next month, I appreciate you, family.
peace to the God. Peace to everybody that joined us.
Peace,
Blessings.
family. We'll talk soon. You be
Wow.
well.
Blessings.